I still remember the days when I couldn't walk down the street without feeling eyes on me. Not in the uncomfortable way, in the way that made me feel like I mattered, like I existed in a space that demanded attention. My reflection was my friend back then, something I'd glance at in shop windows with a small smile of satisfaction. Lee Kehoe. That was me. 26 years old, Omega, and undeniably beautiful by anyone's standards. My dark hair fell perfectly across my forehead, my skin was clear and luminous, and my body was lean and graceful. I worked at a small marketing firm in Seoul, nothing glamorous, but enough to keep me independent and proud. That was 3 years ago. A lifetime ago. Now, as I stand in front of the bathroom mirror in the small apartment I share with my husband Jun-soo, I barely recognize the person staring back at me. My face is rounder, my jaw less defined. My body, once the source of so much confidence, has become something I hide beneath oversized sweaters and loose pants. The scale this morning read numbers I never imagined I'd see, numbers that make my chest tighten with shame. Kehoe, are you going to spend all morning staring at yourself? Jun-soo's voice cuts through the door, sharp with irritation. Some of us have work to do. I flinch at his tone. There was a time when he'd speak to me with such tenderness, when his voice would soften just saying my name. Now every word feels like a small cut. I'm coming, I call back, pulling on the largest shirt I own. It used to hang loosely on me. Now it clings in all the wrong places. When I emerge from the bathroom, Jun-soo is already at the kitchen table, scrolling through his phone with his coffee. He doesn't look up. He rarely does anymore. My husband runs a small electronics repair shop. Nothing fancy but honest work. When we first met 2.5 years ago, I didn't care that he wasn't wealthy or particularly ambitious. He was kind, or so I thought. He made me laugh. He looked at me like I was the most precious thing in the world. We married after only 5 months of courtship. Everyone said we were rushing, but I was so deeply in love, so certain that what we had was real and lasting. My older sister Yuna had her reservations, but even she came around when she saw how happy I was on our wedding day. That happiness feels like a dream now. A beautiful, painful dream. I made breakfast, I say softly, gesturing to the rice and soup I'd prepared earlier. It's still warm. Jun-soo glances at the food, then at me, and something flickers across his face. Disgust? Disappointment? I can't quite tell anymore, and I'm not sure which would hurt less. I'll eat at the shop, he says, standing and grabbing his jacket. I can't start my day feeling this heavy. The implication hangs in the air between us. He means me. Being around me makes him feel heavy. Jun-soo, please. What? He finally looks at me fully, and I wish he hadn't. His eyes, once so warm, are cold. What do you want me to say, Kehoe? That everything is fine? That you haven't completely let yourself go? My throat tightens. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been trying to eat less, to exercise, but nothing changes. Maybe I should see a doctor? A doctor can't fix discipline, he interrupts. You want to know what I think? I think you got comfortable. You got married and decided you didn't have to try anymore. He picks up his bag. I'll be home late. Don't wait up. The door closes behind him, and I'm alone with the breakfast I made that no one will eat and the tears that I've been holding back since I woke up. This has become our routine. Jun-soo finds new ways to express his disappointment in me, and I absorb each blow like I deserve it. Maybe I do. Maybe if I just tried harder, wanted it badly enough, I could be the person I used to be. The person he married. My phone buzzes. It's my sister. Yuna. Morning, baby brother, son, how are you feeling today? I stare at the message, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. How am I feeling? Worthless. Trapped in a body I don't recognize and a marriage that's suffocating me. But I can't tell her that. I've already burdened her enough with my complaints. I'm okay. Just tired. How's work? Her response comes immediately. Yuna, don't lie to me, Kehoe. I can feel you're sad through the phone. Did he say something again? Yuna has always been able to read me. Even when we were kids, she could tell when something was wrong just by looking at me. She's 5 years older, an alpha, strong and successful. Everything I'm not anymore. Me, it's fine. Really. I just need to lose this weight. Yuna, that's not the issue and you know it. The issue is that he's treating you like garbage. Come stay with me for a while. Me, I can't just leave my marriage. Why not? What's it giving you besides misery? I don't have an answer for that. The rest of the day passes in a blur of housework and loneliness. I clean every corner of our small apartment, trying to make it perfect for when Jun-soo comes home. Maybe if the house is spotless, if dinner is perfect, if I'm pleasant and agreeable, maybe he'll look at me the way he used to. But deep down, I know it won't matter. Nothing I do seems to matter anymore. By evening, I'm exhausted but restless. I decide to go to the convenience store down the street for some ingredients I need for dinner. The walk there is short, but I'm hyper-aware of every person who passes me. Do they notice how much weight I've gained? Are they judging me too? At the store, I grab what I need quickly, keeping my head down. At the register, the young female clerk, a beta, probably college-aged, scans my items with barely concealed disdain. Having a big meal tonight? She asks, her tone sugary sweet but her eyes cruel. She's looking at the snacks I'd grabbed impulsively, comfort food I probably don't need. Just dinner, I mumble. Looks like enough for 3 people, she continues, loud enough that the customer behind me can hear. But I guess when you're eating for 2. She trails off, laughing at her own joke. My face burns with humiliation. I know what she's implying, that I'm pregnant, or that I eat enough for 2 people. Either way, it's meant to hurt. I guess some people just can't help themselves, she adds, still smiling that terrible smile. I'm frozen, unable to defend myself, unable to do anything but stand there and take it. This is what I've become. Someone who can be mocked openly, someone who doesn't even fight back. That's enough. The voice comes from behind me, deep, authoritative, and carrying an alpha's command that makes everyone in the vicinity go quiet. I turn to see a man stepping forward and my breath catches. He's tall, easily over 6 feet, with broad shoulders and an presence that fills the small store. His hair is dark and styled back, his features sharp and aristocratic. He's wearing an expensive-looking black coat and dress shirt, so out of place in this neighborhood convenience store that he might as well be from another world. But what strikes me most is his eyes, dark and intense, fixed on the clerk with an expression that makes her shrink back. Apologize, he says simply. I didn't mean, the clerk stammers. Apologize to him. The alpha's voice drops lower, and I can feel his presence pressing against the room. This is not a suggestion. This is a command. I'm sorry, the clerk whispers to me, her face pale. Ring up his items and don't say another word, the man continues. His voice carries the kind of authority that suggests he's used to being obeyed without question. The clerk complies silently, her hands shaking as she bags my purchases. I pay quickly, desperate to escape this humiliating situation even though this stranger just offended me. Outside the store, I take a deep breath of cold night air, trying to calm my racing heart. I should go home, but my feet feel rooted to the spot. Wait. I turn to find the alpha has followed me out. Up close, he's even more striking, and more intimidating. Everything about him screams power and danger, from his perfectly tailored clothes to the way he carries himself. But his eyes, as they look at me now, are surprisingly gentle. Are you all right? He asks. Yes. Thank you for what you did in there. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. He reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out his phone. May I? Confused, I hand him my phone when he gestures for it. He types something quickly, then hands it back. I look at the screen to see a new contact. Min Hyun. If anyone treats you that way again, he says, his voice softer now but still carrying that undertone of steel, call me. I'll handle it. I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. He studies my face for a moment and I feel exposed under his gaze, but not in the terrible way I feel when Junsu looks at me. This feels different. What's your name? Lee Kiho, I whisper. Kiho, he repeats, and something about the way he says it makes my name sound precious. Take care of yourself, Kiho. And then he's gone, disappearing into a black car with tinted windows that was waiting at the curb. I stand there for a long moment, my phone clutched in my hand, wondering who exactly Min Hyun is and why a man like that would care about someone like me. When I get home, Junsu still isn't back. I put away the groceries and start preparing dinner, but my mind keeps returning to the stranger, to Min Hyun. The way he defended me without hesitation. The way he'd looked at me without disgust or pity. My phone buzzes around 10 p.m., just as I'm about to give up on Junsu coming home for dinner. Unknown number. This is Min Hyun. I wanted to check that you made it home safely. I stare at the message, my heart doing something strange in my chest. When was the last time someone checked on me? When was the last time someone cared? Me, I did. Thank you again for earlier. I'm sorry you had to witness that. Min Hyun, you have nothing to apologize for. How are you feeling? How am I feeling? The question catches me off guard. No one asks me that anymore. Me, honestly? Embarrassed, but also grateful. You didn't have to help me. Min Hyun, I couldn't stand by and watch someone be treated that way. Especially not someone who seems as kind as you. Tears prick my eyes. I don't feel kind. I feel broken and worthless and so incredibly tired. The door opens and Junsu walks in, smelling of soju and perfume that isn't mine. He doesn't greet me, just heads straight for the bedroom. Did you eat? I call after him. Yeah. At the bar with some friends. He pauses in the doorway, his eyes trailing over me with that familiar look of disappointment. You should go to bed, Kiho. You look tired. Translation, you look terrible. I nod, swallowing the hurt. Good night. That night, lying in bed next to my husband who turns away from me even in sleep, I think about Min Hyun's message. About someone, a stranger, showing me more kindness in 5 minutes than my own husband has shown me in months. I think about how far I've fallen from the confident, beautiful person I used to be. And for the first time in a long time, I wonder if maybe, just maybe, there might be a way back. Not for Junsu, but for myself. The next morning I wake up feeling strange. Not physically, I've been feeling strange physically for months now, but emotionally. Something shifted last night, though I can't quite put my finger on what it was. Junsu is already gone when I emerge from the bedroom. He's been leaving earlier and earlier, coming home later and later. Part of me is relieved. At least when he's not here, I don't have to see the disgust in his eyes. I'm making coffee when my phone rings. Yuna. Morning, I answer, trying to sound cheerful. Don't give me that fake voice, she says immediately. I'm picking you up in an hour. We're going shopping. Yuna, I don't really feel like. I don't care what you feel like. You've been hiding in that apartment for weeks. You're coming out with me and that's final. Wear something comfortable. She hangs up before I can protest further. That's Yuna for you, forceful, determined, and absolutely impossible to say no to. It's part of what makes her such a successful alpha in the corporate world. She's a senior manager at a tech company, commands respect from everyone around her, and has never taken shit from anyone. I wish I had even a fraction of her strength. True to her word, Yuna shows up exactly an hour later, looking stunning as always in designer jeans and a crisp white blouse. Her hair is pulled back in a sleek ponytail, and she radiates confidence. We look nothing alike. She took after our father's sharp, angular features, while I inherited our mother's softer beauty. Or at least I used to. You ready? She asks, looking me over with concern that she tries to hide. We're going to have a good day, okay? Just us. The mall is crowded, and I feel self-conscious walking next to my beautiful, put-together sister. I can feel people's eyes on us, probably wondering how we're related. But Yuna links her arm through mine and holds her head high, daring anyone to say something. We browse stores, though I can't bring myself to try anything on. Nothing would fit right anyway. Yuna buys me a soft scarf in deep blue. It brings out your eyes, she says, and some skincare products. Self-care is important, Kiho. Over lunch at a small cafe, she finally addresses the elephant in the room. You're not happy, she says simply, stirring her coffee. Don't try to deny it. I can see it written all over your face. I pick at my salad, unable to meet her eyes. Marriage is hard. We're going through a rough patch. A rough patch. Yuna's voice rises slightly. Kiho, he's destroying you. I've watched you shrink into yourself over the past 2 years. You barely smile anymore. You won't go out. You apologize for existing. That's not a rough patch, that's abuse. He's just disappointed in me, I whisper. I've changed so much. I've gained all this weight and I know it bothers him. If I could just lose it. Stop, Yuna interrupts, reaching across the table to grab my hand. Listen to me very carefully. The weight is not the problem. His cruelty is the problem. A husband who truly loves you would support you, would want to help you feel better, would go with you to figure out what's going on with your health. He wouldn't mock you and tear you down. Tears well up in my eyes. I don't know what's wrong with me, Yuna. I've tried everything. I barely eat, I've tried exercising, but nothing works. It's like my body doesn't belong to me anymore. Yuna squeezes my hand tighter. That's exactly why you need to see a doctor. This isn't normal weight gain, Kiho. Something else might be going on. I swallow hard. I thought maybe I was pregnant. I took so many tests, but they all came back negative. And the way Junsu looked at me when I told him I thought I might be, like he was horrified at the idea of having a child with me. That's when I knew. I really knew how he felt about me. Oh, baby brother, Yuna says, her voice breaking slightly. She comes around to my side of the table and pulls me into a hug right there in the cafe. I can't hold back the tears anymore. They come in silent waves as she holds me. You deserve so much better than this. Please let me make you an appointment with my doctor. Just to rule out any medical issues. Will you do that? For me? I nod against her shoulder, too emotional to speak. That evening when I return home, I feel lighter somehow. Yuna's support means everything. She's always been my rock, even when we were kids and I got bullied for being a pretty omega. She'd fight anyone who dared to mess with me. But the lightness evaporates the moment I walk through the door. Junsu is home early, sitting on the couch with papers spread out in front of him. He looks up when I enter, and there's something in his expression that makes my blood run cold. We need to talk, he says. Those 4 words. The ones everyone dreads. I set down my bag slowly, my heart already racing. Okay. Sit down. I sit in the chair across from him, not on the couch beside him. There's a distance between us now that feels insurmountable. Junsu runs his hand through his hair, and I notice he looks tired. Good, a small, bitter part of me thinks. Kiho, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to be direct. This isn't working. We aren't working. We can try counseling, I hear myself say, even though part of me knows it's futile. We can work through this. I don't want to work through this, he says, and the words hit like physical blows. I want out. The silence that follows is deafening. I can hear the clock ticking on the wall, the sound of traffic outside, my own heartbeat thundering in my ears. Is there someone else? I ask quietly. He has the decency to look away. That's not relevant. Which means yes. Of course there is. Of course there's someone else. Someone thin, someone beautiful, someone who isn't me. When? My voice sounds strange, distant. Does it matter? When, Junsu? He sighs. 3 months. 3 months. While I've been agonizing over our relationship, killing myself trying to lose weight, crying myself to sleep, he's been with someone else for 3 months. I want a divorce, he says, pushing the papers toward me. I've already had them drawn up. You can look them over, but it's pretty straightforward. The apartment is rented, so there's no property to divide. I'll keep my business, you keep your savings. Clean break. I stare at the papers, at the official-looking documents that represent the end of everything I thought my life would be. Part of me wants to scream, to cry, to beg him to reconsider. But a stronger part, a part that sounds suspiciously like Yuna, is saying, sign them. Walk away. You deserve better than this. If I had known you would become this. Junsu gestures vaguely at me. I never would have married you. The person I married was confident, beautiful, took care of himself. I don't even recognize you anymore. And there it is. The final blow. The confirmation of every terrible thing I've thought about myself. But as I look at him, really look at him, I realize something. He's not the man I fell in love with either. That man was kind, or maybe I just convinced myself he was. Maybe I was so desperate to be loved that I mistook attention for affection, possession for passion. I'll sign them, I say quietly. He looks surprised, like he expected more of a fight. You will? Yes. But I need a few days to find a place to stay. You can stay with your sister, right? Of course. He's already got my exit planned. Probably so his new girlfriend can move in the moment I'm gone. I'll be out by the weekend, I tell him, standing up. My legs feel shaky, but I'm standing. That has to count for something. That night, I lie in the guest bedroom. I can't bear to share a bed with him anymore, and call Yuna. He wants a divorce, I tell her when she answers. There's a long pause. Then, good. I let out a shocked laugh. Good? Yes, good. Now you can finally get away from that asshole and start building a real life. You're moving in with me, and I don't want to hear any arguments. Yuna? No arguments, Kiho. You're my baby brother, and I'm not letting you face this alone. Pack your things. I'll come get you this weekend. After we hang up, I lie in the darkness and think about Min Hyun's message from the night before. About how he asked how I was feeling, like my feelings mattered. On impulse, I open our text thread. My husband wants a divorce. I don't know why I'm telling him this. We're strangers. But something about him felt safe. His response comes almost immediately. Min Hyun, are you alright? Where are you? Me, home. I'm okay. Well, I'm not okay, but I'm safe. Min Hyun, do you want company? Or would you prefer to be alone? The offer surprises me. Who is this man? Me, I should be alone. But thank you for asking. Min Hyun, if you change your mind, call me. Anytime. I mean that. I fall asleep holding my phone, those words giving me a strange comfort. The next few days pass in a blur. I pack my things, which is depressing. When did my life become so small? Everything I own fits into 3 suitcases and some boxes. Junsu is conveniently absent, probably staying with his new girlfriend. Yuna helps me move on Saturday, and I leave my wedding ring on the kitchen counter next to the signed divorce papers. I don't cry. I think I've run out of tears. Yuna's apartment is beautiful, spacious and modern, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. She sets me up in her guest room, which is bigger than my old bedroom. This is your home now, she says firmly. For as long as you need it. And tomorrow, you have an appointment with Dr. Park at 10 a.m. I'm coming with you, and I'm not taking no for an answer. That night, I text Min Hyun. I moved out today. Living with my sister now. Min Hyun, how are you holding up? Better than I expected. Still processing everything. Min Hyun, divorce is never easy, even when it's the right choice. Be gentle with yourself. Can I ask you something? Min Hyun, anything. Why are you being so kind to me? You don't even know me. There's a longer pause before his response comes. Min Hyun, I know enough. I know you're someone who deserves kindness. And I know that something about you drew me in from the moment I saw you. I can't explain it. I just know I want to know more. My heart does that strange fluttering thing again. I should be wary. I should protect myself. I just got out of a terrible marriage after all. But there's something about Min Hyun that feels different. Something that makes me want to trust him, despite all my instincts telling me to guard my heart. I want to know more about you too. Min Hyun, then let's start simple. Tell me about yourself, Lee Ki-ho. What do you like? What makes you happy? And lying in my new room in my sister's warm apartment, I realize I don't remember what makes me happy anymore. I've spent so long being miserable that I've forgotten who I am. But maybe, just maybe, this is my chance to figure it out. Dr. Park's office is on the 14th floor of a modern medical building in Gangnam. Everything is clean, sterile, and intimidating. Yuna holds my hand in the waiting room, her presence the only thing keeping me from bolting. Lee Ki-ho. A nurse calls my name. Inside the examination room, Dr. Park turns out to be a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and gentle manner. She reminds me a bit of my mother who passed away 5 years ago. So, Ki-ho, she says after the initial examination, your sister mentioned you've been experiencing unexplained weight gain. Tell me everything, when it started, any other symptoms, your lifestyle changes. I explain everything, how I gained nearly 40 pounds over the past year despite eating less, how tired I always feel, how my hair has been thinning, how I'm cold all the time, how my skin is dry no matter how much I moisturize. Dr. Park listens carefully, making notes. I'd like to run some blood tests. Based on what you're describing, I suspect you might have a thyroid condition, specifically hypothyroidism. It's actually quite common and very treatable, but it can cause all the symptoms you've mentioned. So, it's not my fault? The words come out small, broken. Oh honey, no, Dr. Park says, her expression softening. This is a medical condition. Your body isn't producing enough thyroid hormone, which regulates your metabolism. It's not about willpower or discipline. It's chemistry. I start crying right there in the examination room. Yuna stands and wraps her arms around me while Dr. Park hands me tissues. We'll know for sure once we get your blood work back, she continues. But if it is hypothyroidism, we'll start you on medication to replace the hormone your thyroid isn't making. Combined with proper nutrition and appropriate exercise, you should start seeing improvements within a few months. The blood tests confirm it. 2 days later, Dr. Park calls with the results. Severe hypothyroidism. She prescribes medication and refers me to a nutritionist and an endocrinologist for ongoing care. That evening, I sit with Yuna in her living room, the prescription bottle in my hands. I was sick, I say, still processing. This whole time I was actually sick, and Junsu made me feel like I was just weak and lazy. He's a bastard, Yuna says bluntly. And you're better off without him. I need to tell someone, I say suddenly, pulling out my phone. Before I can second guess myself, I'm texting Min Hyun. I went to the doctor today. Found out I have hypothyroidism. That's why I gained all the weight. It's an actual medical condition. His response is immediate. Min Hyun, I'm relieved you have answers. How are you feeling about it? Like everything makes sense now. And also angry. So angry at my ex-husband for making me feel worthless when I was actually sick. Min Hyun, you have every right to be angry. Would you want to meet for coffee? I'd like to hear more if you're comfortable sharing. I should say no. I barely know this man. But something in me wants to see him again, wants to talk to someone who doesn't look at me with pity or disappointment. Tomorrow afternoon? There's a cafe near my sister's place. Min Hyun, send me the address. I'll be there. The next day, I spend an embarrassing amount of time trying to figure out what to wear. Everything feels too tight or unflattering. Finally, Yuna marches into my room with a soft gray sweater and black jeans. Wear these, she commands. And Ki-ho? He has to see you. Not some perfect version of you. Just you. The cafe is quiet when I arrive, not too crowded. I'm early, nervous, fidgeting with my phone. But then the door opens and Min Hyun walks in, and somehow I'd forgotten how striking he is. Today he's dressed more casually, still clearly expensive, but dark jeans and a black button-down instead of a suit. His eyes scan the cafe until they land on me, and his expression softens into something warm. Ki-ho, he says, sliding into the seat across from me. Thank you for meeting me. Thank you for coming, I reply, suddenly shy. I'm sorry, I don't really do this. Meet strange men at cafes, I mean. I'd hardly call us strangers now, he says with a slight smile. And I'm glad you reached out. How are you feeling? About the diagnosis. We order drinks, he gets an Americano, I get a latte, and then I find myself telling him everything. About the marriage, about Junsu's cruelty, about feeling like I was disappearing into myself. And now I know it wasn't my fault, I finish. But I'm angry, Hyun. I'm so angry that I spent 2 years hating myself when I was actually sick. You have every right to be angry, Min Hyun says, his dark eyes intense on mine. Your ex-husband is a fool. And I don't mean that lightly. He had something precious, and he destroyed it through his own selfishness and cruelty. You don't really know me though, I point out. I could be a terrible person. Are you? No. Then I know enough. He leans forward slightly. Kiho, can I be honest with you about something? My heart races. Yes. From the moment I saw you in that convenience store, I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. Not because of how you look, though I think you're beautiful, but because of something I saw in your eyes. Strength even when you felt weak. Kindness even when the world was being cruel to you. He pauses. I know your marriage just ended. I know this is terrible timing. But I wanted you to know that I'm interested in getting to know you better. No pressure, no expectations. Just honesty. I don't know what to say. Part of me wants to run to protect myself. But another part, a part that's been dormant for so long, wants to take this chance. I don't even know what you do, I say finally. Who you are. Something flickers across Min Hyun's face. I'm in private security and business management. I have investments in various sectors. It sounds rehearsed, like he's giving me the sanitized version. What matters is that I want to support you through this transition. As a friend if that's all you want. Or as something more when you're ready. I should want to be alone, I admit. I should focus on healing, on figuring out who I am outside of being someone's disappointing husband. You should do what feels right for you, Min Hyun says. But healing doesn't have to be a solo journey. We talk for 3 hours. He tells me about his love of old movies and classical music, about growing up with a difficult father, about building his business from nothing. I tell him about my dreams of becoming a writer, how I used to love photography before I gave it up, how I miss my mother every single day. By the time we leave the cafe, something has shifted between us. There's a connection now, fragile but real. Can I see you again? Min Hyun asks as we stand outside. I'd like that, I reply. He steps closer and for a moment I think he might kiss me. But instead, he takes my hand and raises it to his lips, pressing a soft kiss to my knuckles. The gesture is old-fashioned, romantic, and makes my entire body warm. Until next time, Kiho. Over the following weeks, a routine develops. I take my medication religiously, meet with the nutritionist, start gentle exercises. Yuna is my cheerleader, celebrating every small victory. And Min Hyun becomes a constant presence in my life. We text every day, meet for coffee or dinner several times a week. He never pushes for more than I'm comfortable giving, but his interest in me never wavers. One evening about 6 weeks after we first met, we're walking through a park near Yuna's apartment. It's late autumn and the leaves are golden and red in the fading light. Can I ask you something? I say suddenly. Always. Why haven't you kissed me yet? Min Hyun stops walking, turning to face me fully. Because when I do, I want you to be absolutely certain it's what you want. No doubts, no hesitation. His hand comes up to cup my cheek. I want you to feel ready, Kiho. Not obligated, not grateful. Just ready. I'm ready now, I whisper. His eyes search mine for a moment, and then he's leaning down and his lips are on mine. The kiss is gentle at first, tentative like he's afraid I'll break. But then I press closer, my hands fisting in his jacket, and the kiss deepens. When we finally pull apart, we're both breathing hard. I should tell you something, Min Hyun says, his forehead resting against mine. Something important about who I am. Okay. Not here. Let's go somewhere private. We end up at his apartment, the penthouse of a luxury building in Gangnam. It's masculine and elegant, all dark woods and leather furniture. But I barely notice the decor because Min Hyun is watching me with an expression I can't quite read. Kiho, I haven't been entirely honest with you about what I do, he begins, pouring us both glasses of wine. I told you I'm in private security and investments, which is true. But the full truth is, I run one of the most powerful organizations in Seoul. People call me a mafia boss, though I prefer to think of myself as a businessman who operates in gray areas. I should be shocked, scared even, but somehow I'm not. It makes sense, actually, the power he carries, the way people defer to him, the expensive clothes and cars. Are you afraid? He asks quietly. No, I realize. Should I be? Never of me. I would never hurt you, Kiho. You have to know that. He sets down his glass and takes both my hands. But I needed you to know the truth before this goes any further. If you want to walk away, I'll understand. I think about it. Really think about it. This man has shown me more kindness, more genuine care, than my own husband did. He's accepted me at my worst, seen me weak and vulnerable, and never once made me feel less than. I'm not walking away, I tell him. The relief on his face is profound. Thank you, he breathes. Kiho, I need to tell you something else. Something that might sound crazy. Tell me. I've never believed in fate or destiny or any of that, he says. But the moment I saw you, something clicked. Like I'd been waiting for you without knowing it. And these past weeks have only confirmed it. He pulls me closer. I'm falling in love with you. Actually, I think I'm already there. My heart stops. Hyun. You don't have to say it back, he continues quickly. I just needed you to know. I will wait however long you need. I will support you through your healing, your transformation. And when you're ready, if you're ready, I'll be here. I kiss him instead of answering, and this time there's no hesitation from either of us. His hands slide into my hair and I press against him, feeling wanted and desired for the first time in years. Bedroom? He murmurs against my lips. Yes, I breathe. His bedroom is just as elegant as the rest of the apartment, dominated by a massive bed with black silk sheets. Min Hyun turns to me, his eyes dark with desire but also with something softer. We can stop anytime, he says. Just say the word. I don't want to stop. He kisses me again, slower this time, his hands sliding under my sweater to touch bare skin. I gasp at the contact, at how good it feels to be touched with tenderness and want rather than disgust. You're beautiful, he whispers, pulling my sweater over my head. So damn beautiful, Kiho. I want to protest, to point out all my flaws, but the way he's looking at me, like I'm something precious, makes the words die in my throat. We undress each other slowly and I'm nervous when I'm finally bare before him. But Min Hyun's eyes travel over my body with appreciation, not judgment. Perfect, he murmurs, pulling me down onto the bed. His hands and mouth are everywhere, learning my body, finding spots that make me gasp and arch. When his hand wraps around my length, stroking slowly, I nearly come apart right there. Hyun, I moan. Please. Tell me what you want, he says, his voice rough with desire. You. Inside me. Please. He prepares me carefully, thoroughly, making sure I'm ready. And when he finally pushes inside, filling me completely, it feels like coming home. We move together, finding a rhythm that builds slowly. His hands grip my hips, guiding me, and I'm lost in the sensation, in the pleasure, in the feeling of being wanted. Look at me, Min Hyun commands, and when I open my eyes, the intensity in his gaze nearly undoes me. I've got you. Let go, Kiho. When I come, it's with his name on my lips and his arms around me. He follows moments later, his face buried in my neck, my name a reverent prayer. Afterward, we lie tangled together, sweaty and satisfied. That was... I can't find the words. Perfect, Min Hyun finishes. You are perfect. 3 months pass like a dream I'm afraid to wake up from. The medication works. Slowly but surely my body begins to respond. The fatigue lifts first. Suddenly I have energy again, real energy, not the fake kind that comes from forcing yourself through the day. My skin clears. My hair stops falling out. And gradually, carefully, the weight begins to come off. But more important than any physical change is what's happening inside. I'm remembering who I am. Who I was before Junsu's cruelty made me forget. Min Hyun is there through all of it. He celebrates every milestone no matter how small. When I lose the first 5 pounds, he takes me to dinner at a restaurant I've been wanting to try. When I tell him I've started writing again, he buys me a beautiful leather journal. When I have bad days, and there are bad days, he holds me and reminds me that healing isn't linear. You're doing so well, Yuna tells me one morning over breakfast in her kitchen. We've developed our own routine. Coffee together in the mornings before she goes to work, debriefing in the evenings about our days. And I'm not just talking about the weight loss. Here, you again. My confident, funny, smart baby brother. I don't know if I'll ever be that person again, I admit. The old Kiho was kind of naive. He didn't know how cruel the world could be. Maybe you're better than the old Kiho, she suggests. Stronger. More aware. But still fundamentally you. I think about that a lot. About who I'm becoming. Min Hyun and I are, well, I'm not sure what we are officially. We're together clearly. We spend most nights at his place and he's become a fixture in my life. But we haven't put a label on it and I'm okay with that. After rushing into marriage with Junsu, I'm learning to take things slow. But the feelings are there. Deep, intense, sometimes overwhelming feelings. One evening, about 4 months into my treatment, I'm at Min Hyun's apartment when he gets a phone call. He steps away to take it and I can hear his voice change, that authoritative, dangerous tone that reminds me of what he really is. When he returns, his expression is troubled. Everything okay? I ask. Business complications, he says vaguely. Then, seeing my expression, he sighs and sits beside me on the couch. There's someone causing problems. Someone who doesn't respect boundaries or understand when to back down. It might get messy. Dangerous. For them, yes. For me. He cups my face. I've been doing this a long time, Kiho. I know how to handle threats. I worry about you, I admit. I worry about you too, he says. Actually, I've been thinking. I want you to move in here. With me. The request catches me off guard. Move in. I know it's soon, Min-hyun continues. But I want to wake up with you every morning. I want to come home to you every night. And selfishly, I want to know you're safe and protected. He pauses. But only if you want to. No pressure. I think about Yuna's apartment, which has been my safe haven these past months. About the independence I've been rebuilding. But I also think about how much I love being here, in this space that somehow feels like home despite its opulence. Can I think about it? I ask. Take all the time you need. That night, I discuss it with Yuna over the phone. Do you love him? She asks bluntly. Yes, I realize. I do. I love him. Then what's holding you back? Fear, I guess. What if it goes wrong again? What if I lose myself again? Ki-ho, you're not the same person who married Jun-soo, Yuna says firmly. You're stronger now. You know your worth. And more importantly, Min-hyun isn't Jun-soo. He's proven that over and over again. She's right. I know she's right. The next day I tell Min-hyun yes. Moving in together is easier than I expected. Min-hyun makes space for me in every sense. Closets, drawers, but also in his life and his routine. He asks my opinion on things, includes me in decisions, makes it clear that this is our home now, not just his. I also meet more of his associates. The first time I'm introduced as his partner to his second-in-command, a scary-looking alpha named Taeyong, I brace for judgment. But Taeyong just grins and claps Min-hyun on the shoulder. About time, boss, he says. We were starting to worry you'd be alone forever. 6 months after starting treatment, I've lost 30 pounds. I'm not back to my pre-marriage weight yet, but I'm getting close. More importantly, I feel good. Strong. Healthy. One afternoon, I'm at the gym. I've started working with a trainer Min-hyun hired, when I see a familiar face. Jun-soo's friend, someone who used to come to our apartment regularly. He recognizes me, does a double take. Ki-ho? Is that you? I straighten my spine. Yes. Wow, you look different. Good. Really good. He seems uncomfortable. Listen, I wanted to say, I'm sorry. For not saying anything when Jun-soo was treating you badly. I should have spoken up. Yes, you should have, I agree calmly. But thank you for saying so now. For what it's worth, he's miserable. The girl he left you for? Lasted about 2 months. Now he's alone and his business is struggling. I feel nothing. No satisfaction, no pity. Just nothing. I hope he figures things out, I say honestly. But that's not my concern anymore. Later, when I tell Min-hyun about the encounter, he pulls me into his arms. I'm proud of you, he says, for how you handled that. You've come so far, Ki-ho. We have a long way to go still, I point out. We have all the time in the world, he counters. And I plan to be here for all of it. That night, lying in bed together after making love, I finally say the words I've been holding back. I love you, I whisper into the darkness. I'm in love with you, Min-hyun. He goes very still. Then he's rolling over, pinning me gently beneath him, his eyes blazing with emotion. Say it again, he demands. I love you. Again. I love you. I'm in love with you. He kisses me deeply, thoroughly. I love you too, he says against my lips. So damn much. You have no idea what hearing you say that means to me. Show me, I challenge. And he does. He makes love to me slowly, reverently, whispering declarations against my skin. When he slides inside me, it feels different than before. Deeper, more meaningful. This isn't just sex. This is connection. Commitment. Love. You're mine, he groans, his movements becoming more urgent. Say it, Ki-ho. Tell me you're mine. Yours? I gasp, meeting his thrusts. Only yours. When we climax together, our bodies perfectly in sync, I know with absolute certainty that this is real. This is lasting. This is what love is supposed to feel like. The morning of my 1-year doctor's appointment, I wake to find Min-hyun already awake, watching me with a soft expression. Good morning, he murmurs, brushing hair from my face. Morning. I stretch, feeling the pleasant ache of last night's activities. What time is it? Early. I wanted some time with you before your appointment. He pulls me close. Nervous. A little. But also excited. I've lost almost all the weight. My energy is good. I feel like myself again. You look incredible, Min-hyun says. But you looked incredible a year ago too. The difference is now you see it yourself. He's right. When I look in the mirror now, I recognize the person looking back. Confident. Healthy. Happy. Dr. Park confirms what I already know. I'm healthy. The medication has my thyroid levels exactly where they should be. My weight is in a healthy range. All my markers are good. I'm so proud of you, Ki-ho, she says warmly. You did the work. The medication helped, but you put in the effort, The exercise, the nutrition, the mental health work. You should be incredibly proud. When I leave her office, Min Hyun is waiting in the parking garage, leaning against his car like something out of a movie. He straightens when he sees me, his expression questioning. All good, I tell him, unable to stop smiling. Everything is perfect. He pulls me into his arms right there in the parking garage, kissing me thoroughly. Let's celebrate. How? I have an idea. Trust me? Always. He drives us out of the city into the countryside. It's spring now and everything is blooming, cherry blossoms painting the world in pink and white. We end up at a beautiful hanok, a traditional Korean house, that overlooks a lake. What is this place? I ask as we pull up. It's mine. Or will be. I've been thinking about buying it, turning it into a weekend retreat. But I wanted your opinion first. The house is gorgeous. Traditional architecture with modern amenities, surrounded by gardens that are just starting to bloom. We walk through it hand in hand and I can picture it. Weekends here, away from the city, just us. It's perfect, I tell him. You should definitely buy it. Actually, I was thinking I should buy it for us, Min Hyun says carefully. Our weekend home. Somewhere we can escape to when the city gets too loud. Our home. He pulls me close and there's something in his expression. Nervous, hopeful, determined. Kiho, this past year with you has been the best of my life. Watching you heal, watching you become yourself again, falling more in love with you every single day, it's been a privilege. You make me want to be better. You make me believe in things I'd given up on. Hyun. Let me finish, he says, and then he's sinking down onto one knee and my heart stops. Lee Kiho, I know you've been married before. I know you might have reservations about doing it again. But I'm not him. This isn't that. This is you and me and what we've built together. He pulls out a box, opening it to reveal a simple, elegant band, white gold with a single diamond. Marry me, Min Hyun says. Not because I need a piece of paper to prove what we have, but because I want the world to know you're mine and I'm yours. I want to stand up in front of everyone and declare that you're my partner, my love, my everything. Marry me, Kiho. Please. I'm crying and laughing and nodding all at once. Yes. Yes, of course, yes. He slides the ring onto my finger and stands, pulling me into his arms. We kiss there in the empty hanok in our future weekend home, surrounded by blooming cherry blossoms. I love you, I whisper against his lips. I love you so much. I love you too. More than I thought I could love anyone. We make love right there on the floor of the empty house, urgent and passionate and full of promise. Min Hyun takes me against the wall first, my legs wrapped around his waist as he drives into me with fierce intensity. Mine, he growls, marking my neck with his teeth. All mine. Yours, I moan, my body singing with pleasure. Always yours. Later we move to the bedroom and he takes his time with me, learning my body all over again as if this is the first time. His mouth maps every inch of my skin, paying special attention to the spots that make me gasp and arch. When he finally pushes inside me again, it's slow and deliberate, our eyes locked as he fills me completely. You're everything, he murmurs, his hips rolling in a rhythm that has me panting. My entire world, Kiho. We move together, perfectly in sync, building toward a climax that feels inevitable and infinite. When we finally come together, it's with whispered declarations of love and promises of forever. The wedding is small, just close friends and family. Yuna is my person of honor, standing beside me with tears streaming down her face. Min Hyun's second-in-command Taeyang stands with him, grinning broadly. We write our own vows. Mine promise to never lose myself again, to communicate, to build a life together based on trust and respect and love. His promise to cherish me, protect me, support me, and love me through whatever comes. When we're pronounced married, the kiss is tender and sweet and full of promise. At the reception, Yuna pulls me aside. I'm so proud of you, she says, hugging me tight. Look at you. You found your way back to yourself, and you found someone worthy of you. Thank you for never giving up on me, I tell her. For being there when I had no one else. That's what family does, she says simply. Later that night, in the honeymoon suite of the hotel, Min Hyun carries me over the threshold despite my protest that I'm too heavy. You're perfect, he says, setting me down gently. And you're my husband now. Husband, I repeat, testing out the word. Feels different than it did with Junsu. Better. Right. We make love as married partners for the first time, and it's tender and passionate and everything I dreamed it would be. Min Hyun takes his time, worshipping every inch of my body, making sure I feel cherished and desired. I will never take you for granted, he promises as he moves inside me. I will spend every day showing you how much you mean to me. I love you, I gasp, my body tightening around him. I love you too. So much. Forever. When we climax together, our bodies perfectly synchronized, I know with absolute certainty that this is my happily ever after. Not because I lost weight or because I found someone new, but because I found myself. And then I found someone who loves all of me, the broken parts, the healed parts, and everything in between. I'm in the kitchen of our weekend house, the one we bought together after the proposal, when I hear the door open. Kiho? Where are you? Kitchen. I call back. Min Hyun appears in the doorway, still in his work clothes, loosening his tie. But when he sees me, he stops, his expression softening. There you are, he says, crossing to pull me into his arms. How was your day? Good. Productive. I finished the final chapter. Your novel? Yeah. I still can't quite believe it. I'm a published author now. My first book came out 6 months ago and did well enough that my publisher wants a second. It's done. Finally. I'm so proud of you, Min Hyun says, kissing my forehead. My talented husband. We've been married for almost 2 years now, and every day is better than the last. I maintain my health, take my medication, exercise regularly. But more importantly, I maintain my sense of self. I write, I spend time with Yuna, I've made new friends. I exist as a complete person, not just as someone's partner. And Min Hyun supports all of it. He's never once made me feel less than. He's proud of my accomplishments, celebrates my successes, comforts me through my failures. How was work? I ask. Busy, but good. Taeyang sends his love. He wants to know when we're having dinner with him and his wife again. Next weekend? If you're free? For you, I'm always free. That night, curled up together in bed, Min Hyun's hand resting on my stomach, I think about how far I've come. From the broken, lost person I was 2.5 years ago to who I am now, confident, healthy, loved. What are you thinking about? Min Hyun asks sleepily. Just how happy I am. How grateful I am for you, for this life we've built. He pulls me closer. I'm the grateful one. You took a chance on me, on us. You let me love you when you were still learning to love yourself again. We healed each other, I say softly. Yeah, he agrees. We did. Outside, cherry blossoms are blooming again, painting the world in pink. Inside, wrapped in my husband's arms, I feel complete. This is my happy ending. Not because someone rescued me, but because I rescued myself. And then I let someone love me the way I deserve to be loved all along. The cherry blossoms are in full bloom outside our bedroom window, their petals occasionally drifting past like pink snow. It's our second wedding anniversary, and Min Hyun insisted on spending it here at our weekend house, away from the city and all its demands. I'm standing by the window in nothing but one of his dress shirts, white cotton that falls to mid-thigh, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of amber and rose. Behind me, I hear the bedroom door open and close softly. There you are, Min Hyun's voice is low, warm, wrapping around me like velvet. I've been looking for you. I turn to find him leaning against the doorframe, still wearing his black slacks but having shed his jacket and tie somewhere along the way. His white shirt is unbuttoned at the collar, sleeves rolled up to reveal strong forearms. Even after 2 years of marriage, the sight of him still makes my breath catch. I was just watching the sunset, I say softly. It's beautiful tonight. His dark eyes travel over me slowly, deliberately, and there's something in his gaze that makes heat pool low in my belly. Not as beautiful as you. I flush, still not entirely used to the way he looks at me, like I'm something precious, something to be treasured. You're biased. Guilty as charged. He pushes off from the doorframe and crosses to me with that predatory grace that never fails to make my pulse quicken. When he reaches me, his hands slide around my waist, pulling me back against his chest. 2 years, he murmurs against my ear. 2 years of waking up next to you. And I'm still not tired of it. Only 2 years? I tease, tilting my head to give him better access as his lips brush my neck. We've been together longer than that. True. His teeth graze the sensitive spot just below my ear, making me shiver. But I wanted to make an honest man of you. I laugh softly, but it turns into a gasp as his hands slide under the shirt I'm wearing. His shirt, to splay across my stomach. His touch is warm, possessive, and I lean back into him. I love seeing you in my clothes, he says, his voice dropping lower. Do you know what it does to me? Coming home to find you wearing my shirt, smelling like me? Tell me, I breathe. Instead of answering with words, he turns me around to face him, and the heat in his eyes is answer enough. His hand comes up to cup my face, thumb brushing across my lower lip. It makes me want to mark every inch of you, he says, his voice rough with desire. Makes me want to remind you that you're mine, that we belong to each other. Then remind me, I whisper, emboldened by the want I see in his face. Something flashes in Min Hyun's eyes, hunger, possession, love all tangled together. He leans down and captures my lips in a kiss that starts tender but quickly deepens into something more demanding. His tongue sweeps into my mouth, and I open for him eagerly, my hands fisting in his shirt to pull him closer. We've kissed thousands of times, but it never gets old. Every kiss feels like the first and the last, urgent and precious all at once. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. Min Hyun's hands have moved to the buttons of the shirt I'm wearing, and he undoes them slowly, one at a time, his eyes never leaving mine. I want to take my time with you tonight, he says as the fabric parts, revealing my skin inch by inch. Want to worship every part of you. Will you let me? Yes, I breathe. Always yes. The shirt falls away, pooling at my feet, and I'm bare before him. There was a time when I would have felt self-conscious, would have wanted to hide. But Min Hyun has spent 2 years teaching me to love my body again, to see it through his eyes, not as something flawed but as something beautiful. His hands slide up my sides, thumbs brushing the underside of my ribs, and I shiver at the contact. You're so beautiful, Kiho, he murmurs. So perfect. Hardly perfect, I manage. Perfect for me, he corrects, and then his mouth is on my neck, kissing and nipping a path down to my collarbone. Perfect in every way that matters. His lips find my chest, tongue flicking over sensitive skin, and I gasp, my fingers threading through his hair. He takes his time, lavishing attention on every inch until I'm trembling and aching for more. Hyun, I moan. Please. Please what? His voice is teasing now, though I can hear the strain in it. He's affected too, I can feel the evidence of it pressed against my hip. Touch me. I need. I know what you need, he says, and then he's guiding me backward toward the bed. The backs of my knees hit the mattress and I sit, looking up at him. Lie back, love. I do as he says, settling against the pillows, and watch as he undresses properly. Each piece of clothing removed reveals more of him. The strong lines of his shoulders, the defined muscles of his chest and abdomen, the tantalizing V that disappears below his waistband. When he's finally naked, I can't help but stare. Even after all this time, he takes my breath away. See something you like? He asks with a slight smirk. Everything, I admit honestly. I like everything. His expression softens and he climbs onto the bed, covering my body with his. The skin-to-skin contact is electric, and I arch up against him, seeking friction. Patience, he murmurs, kissing me deeply. We have all night. His hands map my body like he's memorizing it all over again, finding all the places that make me gasp and writhe. When his hand finally wraps around my length, stroking slowly, deliberately, I cry out. That's it, he encourages, his voice rough. Let me hear you. I love the sounds you make. He works me with skilled precision, knowing exactly how to touch me, exactly what I need. When I'm close to the edge, he stops, making me whimper in frustration. Not yet, he says, kissing my protests away. I want to be inside you when you come. He reaches for the nightstand drawer, pulling out supplies, and I spread my legs wider in invitation. The first touch of his slicked fingers makes me moan, and he takes his time preparing me, thorough and careful as always. You always take such good care of me, I breathe as he works me open. Always, he promises. In every way. For the rest of our lives. When I'm ready, when I'm begging, he finally positions himself and begins to push inside. The stretch is exquisite, that perfect blend of pleasure and pressure that makes my toes curl. He goes slowly, watching my face, making sure I'm okay. Good? He asks when he's fully seated. Perfect, I gasp. So perfect. Move, please. He does, pulling out slowly before sliding back in, setting a rhythm that's both tender and intense. His hands grip my hips, angling me just right, and I see stars. I love you, he says, punctuating each word with a thrust. Love you so much, Kiho. I love you too, I manage, wrapping my legs around his waist to pull him deeper. My husband. My everything. The words seem to break something in him, and his movements become more urgent, more desperate. He leans down to kiss me, swallowing my moans, and I can feel the tension coiling tighter and tighter in my core. Touch yourself, he commands, and I obey, my hand wrapping around myself, stroking in time with his thrusts. That's it, love. I want to feel you come around me. Want to feel you fall apart. His words, combined with the relentless pleasure, push me over the edge. I come with his name on my lips, my body clenching around him, and the sensation triggers his own release. He buries himself deep, spilling inside me with a groan that sounds like a prayer. We collapse together, sweaty and satisfied, hearts racing in sync. Min Hyun carefully withdraws and pulls me close, pressing kisses to my temple, my cheek, my lips. Happy anniversary, he murmurs. I laugh breathlessly. Happy anniversary. We lie there in comfortable silence, watching as the last light fades from the sky and stars begin to appear. His fingers trace idle patterns on my skin, and I feel utterly content, utterly at peace. Do you ever think about how different things could have been? I ask softly. If we hadn't met that day? Every day, Minhyun admits. And every day I'm grateful that we did. You changed my life, Kiho. Made it better in every possible way. You saved me, I say. When I was drowning, you threw me a lifeline. No, he corrects gently. You saved yourself. You did the work, fought your way back. I just had the privilege of being there to witness it, to love you through it. I turn in his arms to face him properly, reaching up to cup his face. I never thought I could be this happy. That love could feel like this, safe and exciting all at once. That's what it should feel like, he says. What it always should have felt like. He kisses my forehead. And I promise you, for the rest of our lives, I'll make sure you never forget that you deserve this. Deserve to be loved, cherished, desired. Show me again, I whisper, feeling desire stirring anew. His eyes darken with renewed hunger. My pleasure, he growls, rolling me beneath him once more. And as the stars shine above and cherry blossoms drift past the window, he shows me again and again just how much he loves me, how much I'm treasured. This is what love should be, patient and passionate, gentle and fierce, giving and receiving in equal measure. This is my forever. And I've never been more grateful for second chances.